Mom, I want to be an accountant.
Dad, I want to be an engineer.
Let NCCU help you to pursue your childhood dreams. At NCCU, we finance your dreams and cater to your choice. You can work and study right here with the NCCU's special Learn While You Earn loan, or choose to study abroad with our overseas education loans. For more information about NCCU's special Learn While You Earn and our overseas education loans, call 255-2172 or visit our website nccudominica.com. NCCU will be here for you. The National Cooperative Credit Union Limited puts a home and more within reach with mortgage care.
With our reduced and special interest rates, you can
build, buy and renovate your home.
Buy a new vehicle, furniture and appliances.
Green your home and lower energy costs.
Mortgage care is for NCCU members with mortgages,
first-time homeowners
and all homeowners.
100% financing is available.
And you can also win prizes.
Apply for an NCCU mortgage care loan today.
Terms and conditions apply.
Send me money. Send me money. Receive money. Receive money. Send me money. No more hassle. L'argent. Send me money. Send me money. Receive money. Receive money. L'argent. It's safe and secure. L'argent. You want to send your money to friends and family. No more standing in line. L'argent. It's a new digital financial service brought to you by the Dominica Credit Union Movement. Introduces a new wallet solution, L'argent. Top up friends, pay bills, make shopping easy, extra secure. Sign up is absolutely free. L'argent. You want to send your money to friends and family. No more standing in line. L'argent. Download the L'argent app today. See your credit union for more details. L'argent, your mobile payment solution. L'argent.
Good morning, Dominic, and welcome to this another edition of the Cooperative Voice. I am your host, Phoenix Belfield, and as always, it's an extreme pleasant privilege to be joined by you. Today, we're having another special program with the Members Forum, and this time we'll be speaking to the President of the National Cooperative Credit Union, Mr. Joseph in Dublin, and also with the CEO of NCCU, Mr. Elmer Irish, on what has been happening with NCCU and their results for 2020 and a couple of critical information that they need to share with their audience. So thank you for joining this edition of the Cooperative Voice. We're extremely happy that you're able to join. We are also grateful for the support and the partnership. In this edition, we have the Kyrie FM that is also broadcasting on radio and via social media. So big shout out to the listeners of Kyrie FM, and also to our other media partner, Q95, who's also broadcasting live on radio. So thank you very much for tuning in to this edition of the Cooperative Voice. And as I said, I'm the host, Felix Belfield, and for the next couple of minutes, we'll be getting into some critical stuff relating to the credit union. This complement of this edition of the Cooperative Voice is brought to you with the kind complement of the Dominica Cooperative Societies League Limited in collaboration with the Credit Unions of Dominica and also L'argent Mobile Wallet, offering you great financial solutions. So we'll just pause for the cause, we'll pause for a short break, And when we come back, we'll be talking to the president and the CEO of NCCU.
Send me money. Send me money. Receive money. Receive money. Send me money. No more hassle. M l'argent. Send me money. Send me money. Receive money. Receive money. M l'argent. It's safe and secure. M l'argent. You want to send your money to friends and family. No more standing in line. M l'argent. It's a new digital financial service brought to you by the Dominica Credit Union Movement. Introduces a new wallet solution, M l'argent. Top up friends, pay bills, make shopping easy, extra secure. Sign up is absolutely free. M l'argent. You want to send your money to friends and family. No more standing in line. M l'argent. Download the M l'argent app today. See your credit union for more details. M l'argent, your mobile payment solution. M l'argent.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining this edition of the Cooperative Voice. Again, I'm your host, Phoenix Belfield, and I'm joined by the president of the National Cooperative Credit Union Limited, Mrs. Josephine Dublin, and I'm also joined by the CEO of NCCU, Mr. Ilma Irish. Madam President, welcome. Mr. CEO, welcome.
Welcome, sir. Thank you very much for your kind invitation. And I say good morning to the radio, the listening public on Q95 and the Kyrie FM, and also those who are following us on our social media platforms.
Thank you very much. Mr. Irish, welcome. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Belfield, and thank you. And I wish you a pleasant morning, Mrs. Dublin as well, and all our listeners via radio and the social media.
And to your 40-something thousand plus members, special greetings as well. Right. We're going to quickly delve into it. The pandemic has affected us, and we are looking at ways in which we need to not only safeguard our members, safeguard the people who work in our credit unions. And like most of the other financial institutions, the credit unions are affected by the pandemic and the restrictions on the numbers for gathering. And as a result, as a direct result of that, we've had to seek regulatory forbearance to enable us to take a couple of decisions so that we can keep the credit union as a going concern until we're able to meet in that formal setting of an annual general meeting and dispense with the business of that general meeting. So, Madam President, I will start with you. What is happening with NCCU, and what can you report to the membership? Can you unmute, please?
We cannot really speak of 2020 without having to use the term COVID-19 pandemic. Just when we thought that we were getting over the hump of the disastrous effects of Hurricane Maria, as the records prove, the COVID-19 pandemic threw us a curveball. We need to be mindful, though, that at its onset, this pandemic provided us with a lot of uncertainty and a lack of concrete information about its way of operating. Members of the NCCU, your board and management team, recognizing this environment of uncertainty, mandated the setting up of a task force to assist in the management of the effects of the pandemic on our operations. The proactive manner of the board must be commended and is evidenced by the fact that this decision was taken at its February meeting, long before the lockdown of Dominica was announced. We were truly living up to our maxim of being a people-centered institution. Our primary goal was to serve our members in a manner that was safe to our membership, our staff, and our volunteers. We need to consider the peculiar position that NCCU occupies in the cooperative landscape and even the financial landscape of Dominica. Not only is our credit union the largest on the island, but our branches are spread over practically the entire country. So any outbreak will definitely impact us as an institution, making the saying true, indeed we are one big family. Our NCCU online meant that our members could conduct some transactions without physically coming to our offices. Despite this, we experienced some very long lines at our branches. Having to comply with physical distancing guidelines made the situation even graver. The CEO will provide later some more details on methods used to address the situation. Despite these challenges, your credit union was able to operate very responsibly. Our assets increased by 20 million, and now our total assets stand at $661 million. Of course, there was the anticipated drop in our loan demand over the previous year, and that is quite understandable. However, our membership grew slightly though at 1.79%, about 889 persons, members. Members, you registered your confidence in your credit union as savings and ordinary deposits increased by about 2 million over last year's figure of $14 million. Notwithstanding the challenges of the year under review, total operating income increased by about $1 million, and that is quite commendable. At the same time, our total operating costs were less by $743,000. So we were really kind of operating a tight ship. And importantly, members, by your loyalty to your credit union, despite many challenges over that year, we are pleased to report a surplus after appropriations of $3.5 million. Of course, it was less than last year's $4.3 million, but given all the odds against us, I think this was a remarkable feat. And therefore, it is important that we are able to recommend dividends to you, our general membership, at our next annual general meeting when we really meet physically for AGM. NCCU still maintained its contributions to education, health, sports, a total of about $122,000 million. And we are very happy to be able to continue to assist the community. We encourage members to make greater use of the Society's website, the hotline, and even the dedicated WhatsApp number to facilitate our service to you, reducing the long lines while ensuring the safety of all.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Definitely a remarkable year, not only in the context of the credit union performance. We've seen some, despite the pandemic and despite the difficulties associated with conducting the business of the cooperative, of the financial institutions, we can still be comforted in some of the results that we've seen, the surplus of over $3 million. We've seen growth in the membership, growth in income, and some other areas. So definitely, it is a testament to the resiliency of the governance and management of the credit union, Mr. Irish.
Yes, Mr. Belfield. Certainly, the president gave a very good overview. But what happened in 2020 was unprecedented. However, we as staff members were up to the challenge with the support of the board and the other committees. And this is the reason why the union made that amount of progress during the year on the review. I wanted though to again highlight something that the president said with respect to the income. There was an increase in the total income from loans of 1.3 million or 4.51% from 30 million in the previous year, 2019, to 31.4 million in 2020. That was from loans. However, with respect to the net surplus, the reduction was due mainly as a result of the increase in the provisions for loan impairment. Because of the fact that a number of our members either are underemployed, lost their jobs, and unable to repay their loans. And as a result, the provisioning for the year had to increase. So for example, in 2019, the provision for impairment of loans was 1.3 million. In 2020, it was 3.7 million, an increase of 2.3 million or 172%. So that seriously impacted the bottom line.
Definitely, Ms. Irish, and one of the things that we continue to look at from the context of the credit union's perspective is that it's a balancing game between keeping credit union afloat, keeping the doors opening, managing the pandemic, and still being able to reward our investors, our owners, our members on their savings and provide them that financial support that is necessary. You mentioned earlier, Mr. Irish, about people being underemployed, some people being furloughed, some people being relieved of employment, and some people are just simply looking to transition between jobs. And we can only imagine with the pandemic raging, and in fact, it was expected to last just a few months, and we're almost practically into year 2. So it looks as though we'll now have to rechange or relook at our model from the context of avoiding or resisting against it to living with it and surviving, Madam President and Mr. Irish.
Certainly. I see that Mr. Irish will even provide some of the details as to just what we did. Of course, we were quite proactive, but even that did not prepare us for the reality as adequately as we could. I don't know if Mr. Irish would like to maybe kind of give a few details as to some of the things that we did to ensure that we really kept up our level of operations to our members.
Yes, madam. Certainly, having been categorized as an essential service, there are 3 things we were expected to do. 1, keep our doors open. 2, ensure that the members receive the service and products that they require on a daily basis. And in doing all of that, we were required to ensure that our staff did not end up as collateral damage as a result. So having established the task force as mandated by the board, we did several things. First among them was to ensure that we gather and disseminate information to our staff to ensure that they remain safe and that they are available to serve the members. We also instituted mandatory mask wearing, sanitization, management of our membership inside the credit union offices, and as far as we possibly could on the outside, by encouraging each member to maintain the social distance. We were approached very earlier on by the Ministry of Health team, and we allowed them to come in to do some sensitization to staff. The league also facilitated a session, again facilitated by the health team, and our staff took advantage to ensure that they were prepared for the COVID-19 virus. We also improved our offices by building glass barriers when necessary to ensure that our members are safeguarded and our staff are also safeguarded. Having recognized the difficulties faced by the members, the board looked at the situation and agreed to provide some deferment. So effective April 1st, 2020, members were able to come in to request deferment of the payments of their loans. And the deferments was deferment on principal.
Right.
So between April and 6 months, well, 6 months from April, members applied and were granted. Some interesting statistics though. A total of 4,809 loans were deferred. Total deferred payments was $7.9 million.
Wow.
Total loans affected with the deferment was 162 million. Among the services, the sectors affected were the service sector, construction, transportation, 1,413 loans for the service sector were deferred.
And that includes tourism, of course.
That includes tourism, but tourism specific was 132.
Right.
But the overall service sector was 1,413,000. There was agriculture, consumer, housing, trading, making up the 4,809. As an additional method or process to reduce the contact between staff and the members who required service, we encouraged our members as far as possible to make appointments.
Right.
By calling in to the loans departments or calling into the member services department and making their requests. And we were able to facilitate as far as possible. As a matter of fact, we established a hotline for that specific purpose that members were able to call in. We encouraged our members to, as far as possible, utilize the services granted by way of ATM cards, again, to reduce the coming in to the office and all the other digital means.
Right.
We promoted heavily our CU Online, where members are able to get onto the account, review their accounts, transfer within accounts by utilizing that service.
As you mentioned that, Mr. Irish, we had I remember just on the outskirts of the COVID virus really impacting this region. I remember heavy emphasis was placed by the NCCU regarding its digital channels. So the CU Online, use of the debit cards use of the card machine, checking night deposit facilities and all of that. Have you seen a significant uptake from since then? Because I noticed now you've added, whereas people needed to come in to sign up online, you've now changed that process, and they can actually go on the website and they can download and sign up through the website. So what has been the uptake from since the advent of COVID to now on the digital channels that you have available?
Having educated our members, we have seen a great uptake in terms of the request for debit cards and request for the CU online. So certainly there has been an increase in the demand for those services from last year as compared to the previous year.
Okay, and we've looked at it from a strategic vantage point, Madam President. We've looked at it from a strategic vantage point as to the credit union being the vanguard of credit union's operation, not only in Dominica as the largest credit union in Dominica, but also the largest in the OECS and the 6th largest in the Caribbean. So we're not talking about any small institution here. So every decision, every pen stroke, every decision that the board and management makes is going to have a national impact. I mean, your total assets is 0.6 billion. So it's now moving into more than systemically important financial institution. Is becoming regionally important financial institution. How is the NCCU navigating with that regional and national responsibility while still keeping their focus on serving the average man?
I think it is important also that we consider the regional outreach. I think it was a few years ago when we were looking at the whole global aspect, because we are not just a local institution. We indeed have global reach. And therefore, we are looking to see how NCCU can even serve the other credit unions in the OECS, because they too are going through the very same difficulties that our credit unions are doing now. So we would like to see NCCU put its stamp of leadership, not in a sense of a power authority, but as a major servant in really pushing forward the agenda of the credit unions and ensuring that everybody has a place through inclusion. Also, diversity is very important. So we would like to see all strata of society being served by our credit unions. And that also extends to our regional influence.
And Mr. Irish, we talked about the provision of service, and we know during this pandemic we've seen the evolution of digital services. We've seen the launch of our very own Mlaja mobile wallet application, and how the credit union movement have not only stepped up to the challenge of providing digital services to their membership, but we're beginning to look at leading that charge to ensure that our membership continues to benefit from that services. So, for example, getting application online, beginning, I know that you have plans on your loan application, if it's not already there already, that people can begin to apply online and use these digital channels and medium to communicate in a more seamless way with the credit union movement, something that we've not been really known for, but we're changing that entire dynamic.
Yeah, we are actively pursuing the online services, but of much importance is being able to reach our members wherever they are, and they having access to the services wherever they are. So as part of that process, what we have started doing is establishing strategic alliances with other credit unions in the region.
Right.
The league was through you, Mr. Belfield was very instrumental in assisting the credit union in Anguilla. And we have more recently held discussions with another NCCU, which is Nevis Cooperative Credit Union, because we do have a number of members in that part of the OECS. So yes, as we continue to make available the online services, we are also establishing strategic alliances with other credit unions where members need to have a face and interaction. They could also be able to go to a credit union to do necessary transactions.
Okay, we may have lost the president for a little bit. I hope she can reconnect. But part of
I wanted to mention though,
go ahead.
that during the year 2020, we also established a silent service whereby frontline workers who come to the credit union to do business or who stand outside in line, we would have identified them and give them priority service, understanding the need for them to limit the amount of time it takes between their work hours and getting the transaction done.
That's the essential services, essential services providers.
Service workers, yes.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Well, yes, and we recognize the incredible work that they have been doing in helping us to fight and to spearhead the fight on a national and regional level, to helping us to combat the pandemic. One of the reasons for this member forum is for us to be able to provide some critical information to the membership. And one of the things that we have continually emphasized, Mr. Irish, is that this forum is not a substitution for the annual general meeting. It is actually just an opportunity for the credit unions, for the leadership to come to the membership and relay certain information to them that are critical, because at this point we would have been celebrating our AGM and you'll have your full subset. For you, a quorum is 250 members. And I think we're only at a 10% of that is allowed to congregate. So we are a far cry from getting to that point where the health authorities can advise us that it is now safe to gather in large numbers. So this is really an important conduit. What other information is there that you would want to relate to the members in terms of information, access to the annual report, support, and so forth?
Okay. I would like to reassure our members that the NCCU is safe and sound. Despite the challenges in the operating environment, we continue to do all that is necessary to keep the credit union safe and sound. With respect to the annual general meeting, as you said, we are awaiting the day when the coronavirus is no longer with us and we can meet, because we look forward on an annual basis to have our annual general meeting. Our reports are prepared. We have not posted them online yet, but we will do that very soon. Our auditors have completed their work and they have audited our financial statements, and the auditor would indicate by way of his report later today. So within the next few days, the members would have access to the reports online. Well, we are waiting the auditor's opinion. And once that is done, we will start the process of publishing the reports.
Right. So it's just a matter of just completing, because we have the auditor with us. So we will just pause for a few minutes to get the auditor's opinion on the financial results, and then we'll continue the discussion and wrap up quickly.
We have audited the financial statements of the National Cooperative Credit Union Limited, the society, which comprise the balance sheet as of December 31st, 2020, the income statement, the statement of changes in equity, and cash flow statement for the year then ended, and notes to the financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements of the society are prepared in all material respects in accordance with international financial reporting standards and comply with the Cooperative Societies Act No. 2 of 2011 and the Cooperative Societies Regulations SRO 26 of 2001 of the laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica. The basis of our opinion: We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statement section in this report. We are independent of the society in accordance with the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants. And we have fulfilled our other responsibilities in accordance with those requirements. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. The responsibilities of management and the board of directors for the financial statements. Management is responsible for the preparation of the financial statements in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards, and for such internal control as management determines is necessary to enable the preparation of the financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. In preparing the financial statements, management is responsible for assessing the society's ability to continue as a going concern, disclosing as applicable matters related to going concern, and using the going concern basis of accounting unless management either intends to liquidate the society or to cease operations or has no realistic alternative but to do so. The board of directors are responsible for overseeing the society's financial reporting process. The auditor's responsibility is for the audit of the financial statements. Our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue an auditor's report that includes our opinion. Reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but it is not a guarantee that an audit conducted in accordance with the international standards of auditing will always detect a material misstatement when it exists. Misstatements can arise from fraud or error and are considered material if individually or in the aggregate, they could reasonably be expected to influence the economic decisions of users taken on the basis of these financial statements. As part of our audit, in accordance with the international standards of auditing, we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism throughout the audit. We also identify and assess the risks of material misstatement of the financial statements, whether due to fraud or error, design and perform audit procedures responsive to those risks, and obtain audit evidence that is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. The risks of detecting a material misstatement resulting from fraud is higher than for one resulting from error, as fraud may involve collusion, forgery, intentional omissions, misrepresentations, or the override of internal control. We also obtain an understanding of internal control relevant to the audit in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the society's internal control. We also evaluate the appropriateness of accounting policies used and the reasonableness of accounting estimates and related disclosures made by management. We also conclude on the appropriateness of the management's use of the going concern basis of accounting, and based on the audit evidence obtained, whether a material uncertainty exists related to events or conditions that may cast a significant doubt on the society's ability to continue as a going concern. If we conclude that a material uncertainty exists, we are required to draw attention in our auditor's report to the related disclosures in the financial statements, or if such disclosures are inadequate, to modify our opinion. Our conclusions are based on the audit evidence obtained to the date of our auditor's report. However, future events or conditions may cause the society to cease to continue as a going concern. We communicate with the board of directors regarding, among other matters, the planned scope and timing of the audit, and significant audit findings, including any significant deficiencies in the internal control that we identify during our.
Thank you very much, Mr. Auditor, Mr. Michelle Williams from Navigant, who is the auditor for the NCCU for the financial year 2020. So we're towards the end of the program, and we're reflecting on the significant impacts and approaches that we've been able to mitigate over the last financial year, and we're reporting on some of those what has happened and how is it that the credit union is mitigating those. I must thank you for being there to provide some critical information to the membership, Madam President. What else can you tell the NCCU members even now as we look to 2021 is almost done. We're heading into 2022 and very soon approaching the next AGM. What can the members expect from the leadership of the credit union?
Certainly that we will not see normal transaction practice reverting to pre-pandemic times. And therefore we appeal to our members to use varying channels that would encourage speedy yet contactless service to them. Soon your NCCU account will be linked to the M-Ledger payment solution. So we are really very happy about that, and we are grateful to the League for its leadership in that respect. We are also looking at how we can use maybe messaging a little more. So rather than having to come into the credit union, one of the things that you could do is, for instance, if you do have, let's say, some documents, right, while we are getting your loan process, copies of those documents can be sent via WhatsApp or email to the credit unions so that the processing can continue. When you enter the credit union, it would really be to finalize, to close off the deal. So that would, in a way, encourage our members to be more at work and spend less time at the credit union and yet receive excellent service. We are moving again, as you mentioned earlier, that maybe one of the high points of our plans for the future is that a member would be able to stay at home and be able to already initiate the loan application online. So rather than having the long lines in Roseau, what we would like to do is have an online presence. It is often referred to as the other branch. At the same time, we recognize not everyone is adept at using the digital services. And of course, we are also considering ensuring that persons who come into our credit unions really have a good experience of our services. We hope to soon establish or set up a new branch, a new building at Point Michel, La Salette. And we're going to use that as maybe our signature branch so that you could get an inkling of what we want to do with our membership. Really, what we want to focus on is a total but significant experience for members so that the services that we provide will be something that they can look forward to, less time consuming, and also, be able to be really part of that global, regional, local membership of credit unions.
Thank you very much, Madam Prez, for those comments, because membership experience in the credit union movement has been our central focus for the last 60 plus years that we've been in existence. That is all we have been working towards doing. In some cases, we've done exceptionally well, and in some cases, there's still some areas for improvement, and we continue to track those comments and contributions from our members. I mean, NCCU with 7 core branches and 11 branches across, I often say this with a big smile, that we're the largest block of financial institution in the country. We have 25 branches and sub-branches spread across the island, with NCCU alone accounting for 11 of them. So it is not just about operating in the areas, Mr. CEO, on the areas that are profitable and have a large population, but we're meeting the membership at the point of greatest need.
That is actually correct, because our decision and our actions are always aimed at ensuring that we provide the members with the products and services that they require and where they require them. And so a profit or surplus motive is not the only motive. At the end of the day, we want to build relationships with our members, the shareholders, the owners of the institution. So the primary focus is not necessarily on the surplus, but providing the members with the required service throughout the island.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Irish. Again, I'm really happy about the information shared. And for those who would have joined us late, this has been a members forum with NCCU, focusing on the performance of the financial year 2020. I've been lucky to be joined by the CEO of NCCU, Mr. Ilma Irish, and the president of the board of directors, Mrs. Josephine Dublin, to discuss this critical information. Folks, thank you very much for joining me on the broadcast. As always, it's been an extreme pleasure to have you on the program and to share. And I hope that we can continue to have more interactions like these, particularly on some other critical issues that would necessitate providing more information. And also, we're going to be soon transitioning to having a more interactive sessions where people can come in and they can call in and they can text in their comments and their questions, because this is the area that we have. So I'm happy that you've joined us. Thank you very much, Madam President and Mr. CEO, for joining the broadcast.
May I use this medium, though, to recognize the work of the health personnel in Dominica for their really human service in really, their efforts really in keeping us safe during this pandemic year and more. I also would like to express my profound appreciation for the staff, the CEO, management, and staff of NCCU, again, for really being a kind of frontline worker, if you may. Because I often say that when people come from overseas, particularly, the two main places that they go to would be to transact, to get some money, or to have some money changed, or to go to church. So really, we have been at the front lines. And I would really want to express my profound appreciation for the staff of the NCCU for all the service that they have done. It has not been easy. We recognize that, and we do want to use this medium to show appreciation. Permit me also to express appreciation to the use of this medium initiated by the Dominica Cooperative Societies League and you, Mr. Belfield, or partners in the media, Kyrie FM and Q95. And also, we are looking forward where we can reconnect again with our members. But as always, our membership makes a difference. And therefore, I really wish everyone a very safe, productive, and service-oriented time ahead. Again, as we always say, our main goal is people helping people. Together, we make it work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam President. Thank you very much, Mr. CEO, for joining us on the broadcast. This has been your host, Phoenix Belford. We're extremely happy that you're able to join us on this edition where we focused on the NCCU Members Forum, NCCU's financial results for the 2020, and we heard from the president of the National Cooperative Credit Union, Mrs. Josephine Dublin, and also from the CEO of the credit union, Mr. Ilma Irish, on what's happening with NCCU. Again, thank you very much for joining us on this edition of the Cooperative Voice. The Cooperative Voice is brought to you with a kind compliment of the Dominica Cooperative Societies League Limited in collaboration with the Credit Unions of Dominica and the M-Laja Mobile Wallet Solution. We thank you for joining us. Feel free to leave comments on any one of our social media platforms. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. You can get us a live chat on our website at mwlajn.com. Remember, you can sign up, and we're taking Dominica to the next level digitally. So thank you everyone for joining the broadcast. As always, stay safe. Those who can get vaccinated, get tested, socially distance yourself. Be responsible players in the marketplace, and so that together we can combat the spread of COVID-19. Until then, it continues to be a pleasure serving you, and thank you very much for joining the broadcast. Be sure to link with us this Thursday again. We'll be on at 10:30 on another edition of the Cooperative Voice, and we'll be speaking on matters of particular interest to the credit union membership. Again, big shout out to our members who are there supporting the movement for the last 60 plus years. Big shout out to the staff of the NCCU, particularly the NCCU, because this is the NCCU Members Forum, but all of our staff members at all of our 6 credit unions affiliates on island. Thank you for being that beacon of hope and giving that human service to the membership, because without you, we'd have no credit union. So thank you for the sacrifice. And to all our supporters, to all our media partners, Q95, Kyrie FM, thank you for sticking it out with us. And thank you for supporting M-Laja as we move and drive digital adoption. So until then, join us next Thursday, different time, different content, same credit union movement. Thank you very much, and have yourselves a great rest of the day.
Send me money. Send me money. Receive money. Receive money. Send me money. No more hassle. M-L'argent. Send me money. Send me money. Receive money. Receive money. M-L'argent. It's safe and secure. M-L'argent. You want to send your money to friends and family. No more standing in line. M-L'argent. It's a new digital financial service brought to you by the Dominica Credit Union Movement. Introduces a new wallet solution, M-L'argent. Top up friends, pay bills, make shopping easy, extra secure. Sign up is absolutely free. M-L'argent. You want to send your money to friends and family. No more standing in line. M-L'argent. Download the M-L'argent app today. See your credit union for more details. M-L'argent, your mobile payment solution. M-L'argent.
Good day, my name is Kendall Francois. I represent Fi's Fragrance Plus. Here I sell incense sticks, I sell fragrance oils. I have from the Middle East and I have from the United States. I sell oil burners, I sell soaps, I sell incense sticks from India, I sell toothpaste, I have charcoal, I have neem, I have different types of soap, black soap, charcoal soap, sage soap, neem soap, sandalwood soaps, I have face scrubs, I have sage bundles, I have frankincense, I have charcoal, I have oil burners, I also have humidifiers and a bunch of different products. This table does no justice to my operation, I have a lot more. At this establishment, I accept M-Laja payments.